Hello, everybody. Well, I think we're live. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're live. Yeah. So, hi for those people that are watching. We're currently live across 3 different platforms. So, our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and our YouTube page. So, feel free to reach out. We can interact. We can do a lot of live chats. So, please feel free to interact with the guys. So, my name is Paul Catherall. I am the co-host of the Bayern Circle podcast with the wonderful Ollie Lewis. Now, Ollie's here. But for some reason, we've lost his photo, but he is there. Hey, Ollie, are you on?
Yeah, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Loud and clear.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in an open office, so there's some background noise. I can't seem to find a private room, so sorry about that.
No worries, mate. I thought you were going to say you're in an open relationship, which kind of just
It's like
takes us down. Yeah.
good to know.
Takes us down a route that we didn't think we were going to go down. Anyway, guys, so please feel free to introduce yourself. Mike.
Hi, I'm Mike. Is that enough?
Mate, I think we need a little bit more, mate.
I'm Mike. I play football. Well, I used to before COVID. I help Ollie a bit with the Football Manila stuff. I play football here. I mean, just for fun here in Singapore, in Australia, in Switzerland, and I support Liverpool. Apart from that, I also try to play other sports whenever I can.
Cool. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about the top you're wearing?
So today I decided to wear my Tibet national team jersey, which is done by Homo, and they do a few different types of crazy shirts. And I picked this up in Singapore when I was a teenager, just always looking for the newest jersey to wear. My jersey collection is a lot better than my skills on the football field, so I'm really proud of it.
Cool. Thanks for joining, Mike. Jet, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Jed, and I play football. And before COVID, and also I'm a mountain biker. I like going up to Antipolo and ride the trails there.
Cool. Thanks, Jet. And last but by no means least, the guy who probably knows the least about sport out of us all, but is here purely to share his love of spiders and as a little bit of light relief. Dondi, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi guys, Dondi here. Let's not talk about spiders. Let's leave that out of the equation. Although, I did play competitive basketball when I was young. I'm a cyclist. I cycle to work and I'll probably be cycling most of November and December because I'm just resting right now. But I'm cycling, basketball. Well, ironically, I started my first sport was football. So
Nice.
I was decent when I was a kid, but no, I outgrew it. So yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, listen, thank you very much for taking your time. Really appreciate you joining. So what the idea is today is we're just going to talk really light-hearted on Owen's on. He says he's here, but he hasn't got the link. So I'll get in touch with Owen in a minute. But yeah, so really what I was saying was we'll talk a lot about sport, very light-hearted, very non-confrontational. We're not here to cause anybody I don't want anybody losing their lives over about what they're about to say or anything like that. So we'll keep it super light-hearted. And Ollie, if you don't mind, mate, as you're the golfer of the family, I thought we could start really about a DJ's win last night on the Masters. So have you got any kind of comments on how you thought DJ performed last night?
Yeah, I think he lost me about £200. So that's my comment.
Right? Did you have a sneaky bet on who else to win? Who would you back?
I backed everyone apart from him. But no, I mean, I backed him in the end. But I tend to hedge bets on golf because the odds are pretty good. But because he smashed it on the third round, yeah, he was well ahead, and the odds shortened. So I couldn't make as much back as I wanted to. But look, fair play to the guy. I mean, he's been around for a number of years. He's world number one, and the way he plays golf is just unbelievable. So massive credit and shout out to him for that.
I think didn't he have his brother on his bag with him as well?
Yeah, I believe so. And also, just for those amateur golfers like myself, Tiger Woods hit a 10 on a par 3. So it does happen to the best of us.
There's hope for us all, Ollie. Hey?
Yeah, there is.
Cool. And Ollie, did you get any golfing over the weekend? I know you're an avid golfer these days, mate. So were you able to get any holes in?
Yeah, I did. On Saturday, I had a quick 9 at Army. I was with actually Mikey at the range for a couple of hours. So we were doing, practicing and some putting, and then did a quick 9. And then on Sunday, I was meant to go to KC Filipinas, but because of the Masters being so late, I woke up late, and then I just went to Villamore instead.
Okay, cool. And look, guys, we have Owen in. Say hi, Owen.
Hey guys, how's it going? I've been tuned in since the start there, so I've heard everything going on. Ollie's on a bit of money already for the week.
Yeah, nothing new.
Cool, nice one, Ollie. Anybody else? Any other golfers out there? Anybody got any comments over DJ's win?
I'd play a small bit back home. I brought my clubs here to the Philippines, but just with other things going on, I don't get out often enough, and just the time of the Masters didn't suit either. Very late, so I didn't catch it over the weekend, but just kept it up to date on Twitter. I seemed to being strong right from the start on Thursday evening. So comprehensive win, really.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was. Mike, you're a bit of a golfer too, right? You like to go out and whack it.
Off, but I do like to whack it. Cool. It was just not. It was not working for me when I was playing at the beginning, and it was really frustrating to get out there and just be so shit. Like Ollie,
don't sugarcoat it, Mike.
Ollie would just be there hitting the ball, and they'd be like, "Mike, you got a great swing," and I'd be like, "Yeah, but it doesn't matter because the ball's still only going 10 yards," and it was just so frustrating. But this weekend, I finally got it. I don't even know how. I learned that I put my arms up first, and then my hips, and then I release it the other way, and then I was finally getting some power. So I finally. I'm feeling the joy of golf, and watching the golf on the weekend was good fun. I finally understood how things were like difficult and challenging, and I had a lot more appreciation for it. Can't wait to get out to play more, to be honest.
Yeah, I need to do the same. I've not played for a number of years, and I'm nowhere near your level, Mike, or Ollie's level. I'm an absolute beginner when it comes to golf. But yeah, I'd love to start playing again, man. So cool. All right, guys, let's kind of move away from golf a little bit and let's talk about football. So there was this little thing happening yesterday called the Nations League. Now I'm Welsh, right? And thankfully at the moment we're still top of our table, which means that as long as we don't lose against, I think it's Finland on Wednesday, we'll go through to tier 1 or tier A or something like that, right? But there's a lot of mixed thoughts and a lot of mixed ideas on whether or not this Nations League is something of, as a value and whether or not people are interested in it. So I kind of like to get your thoughts, guys, on obviously the Philippines, isn't it? So I apologize. But in terms of like the home nations, what do we think? Do we think it's a worthwhile tournament? Are you guys even bothered about it? I don't know. Jack, maybe from an outsider looking in, mate. Let's come to you first. What are your thoughts on the whole Nations League situation? Is Jack there?
Yeah. Well, I'm not too fond of this Nations League thing. I mean, this tournament. Just like example there is, so we're going to have the players injured, coming back to their respective leagues, and I think there's a big. Right now, Liverpool have all their back fours now injured, so it's not really helping, and it's not really. It's just something that FIFA makes money out of. So
Jet's not pulling any punches there, man.
He's not on the fence, no.
Wow.
Not straight in. So it's all about FIFA making money. Perfect. Cool. Go for it, Jet. Owen, from your standpoint, mate, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Wales beat Ireland last night 1-0, so it wasn't a good weekend for our lads. But in general, for a team like Ireland, it's a team that always struggles, and having the players together will help them, I guess, learn how their playing style. They have a new manager in over the last 6 or 7 months, and as any who've watched European football, Ireland are usually very hard to beat, but not the most easy on the eye to watch. It's usually a long ball to a big man up front and try and nick a 1-0. So the new coach came in, and he's trying to play a bit more, good football. So they're passing the ball a lot more, they're keeping possession more, but they're not difficult to beat now. And the problem is that they can't score either. I think it's about 6 games since Ireland have scored, and they haven't kept a clean sheet either. So he's going about it the right way to, bring a right style of football, but they've kind of gone soft down the middle as well. So it is kind of frustrating. Stephen Kenny's his name. He was over the Ireland underage groups there for years and did a great job. And then he was there was a succession plan put in for him to take over Mick McCarthy last year. They narrowly missed out on the Euro qualifier final. They got beaten by Slovakia, I think, who then beat Northern Ireland last week. So it would have been nice, obviously, to have a derby game against Northern Ireland for a knockout to the Euros, but they lost out on penalties. So in general, like the home nations, there's not much to it, but for a team like Ireland to be able to play together and learn, there's a lot of value in it. But like Jet mentioned, you see the England players getting a lot of injuries, and I'm a Liverpool fan as well, like some of you lads, and we don't know who's going to be lining out next weekend.
So
No idea.
we're going to talk about Liverpool's injury crisis in a minute, mate. So thanks, Owen.
No worries.
Listen, from a Welsh perspective, I'm happy that we're winning. I'm happy that we've now discovered a way that we can win without necessarily playing pretty. I think we've kept something ridiculous like 6 or 7 clean sheets. Jet, if you can remember years ago when they used to say 1-0 to the Arsenal, it's come a little bit like it's 1-0 to Wales now, mate. We've developed this habit of scoring late on in the second half and then just kind of shutting up shop. So yeah, it's from a Welsh perspective, it's great. I just don't care. I honestly could not care less. But to kind of contradict it a little bit, it is great, like Owen was saying, to see the Welsh players play more regularly together. So that's a nice happening. That's something that certainly wasn't happening. And also, I'm never a big fan of friendlies, right? So before the Nations League yesterday, we played the USA on, was it Thursday or Friday of last week, in a friendly, and it was a complete waste of time. It was the friendlies I don't get. And the Nations League I kind of understand, so there's something to win at the end of it. But yeah, in terms of friendlies, I simply don't get. Has Mike gone? I was going to bring him in on this debate. Mike, are you there? He's left us.
But Paul, the Welsh team have a lot of good young players coming in as well, right?
Yeah, man, we're doing well. When you look at kind of the underage ones coming through, David Brooks, for example, who scored last night, I think he's still with Bournemouth. So he's a decent player coming through. The Harry Wilson, who plays for Liverpool, but he's like now on loan to Cardiff. He's a great player. We call him the King of Corwin. That's his hashtag across kind of social media. So yeah, so it's great from a Welsh perspective, looking out now and looking for the future, that we start to bed the young players in these type of games in this competitive environment, and hopefully over the next 3 or 4 years, be in a better place when it comes to the future tournaments. We've already qualified for Euro 2021, which I know for some of you out there is a sore point. But yeah, we'll just see. We'll see how it goes. In Wales at the moment, mate, it's unusual because our rugby is absolutely crap. We can't win for toffee, right? We are all over the place when it comes to rugby, but football, yeah, it looks like we're going in the right way. So yeah, I'm good. Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed we continue. Mike, let's pivot a little bit. So let's talk about the Nations League from your standpoint, Mike, but then let's do the whole Liverpool debate with you and Owen and Jet. So, Mike, what are your thoughts on the Nations League? He's on mute. Mike, you're on mute, mate.
Well, sorry. We are. Well, I'm Swiss, and we're last. So we're in the group with Germany and Spain and Ukraine, and the best thing we did was save 2 penalties against Ramos, which is probably more his doing than our doing. But I do like it that we can play against these big teams and not get shocked. You're getting used to playing them more. So I think it makes everyone more competitive and more, ready to take on the big guys, which I like about it from a competition standpoint. Does it make money for FIFA? Yeah, probably. With FIFA, it's just, I mean, they're money hungry, and you should check out their headquarters in Zurich. It's really nice.
I think Mike's trying to say something without trying to say something now, Mike, right? It's like a veil. It's like a veiled threat. All right, guys. So let's talk about now the impact that the Nations League has had, or even it may not even be the Nations League, right? It may just be the fact that due to the current situation, there's been what the Premier League have had to do is they've collapsed a lot of fixtures at the start of the season, right? And of course, this has impacted players when it comes to their fitness, etc., etc. So, Mike, Owen, I know you're Liverpool fans, and Jet, I know you. For those guys who are watching, yes, we do have some people out there watching. Thank you very much. For those guys out there, Jet is wearing an Arsenal top because he is an Arsenal fan. So it's not a lie. He really is an Arsenal fan. Mike, Owen, we'll come to Liverpool in a minute, but regarding their injury crisis. But Jet, what's your take on the moment from the Premier League? How do you think the fixtures are impacting any players, and are you happy with what you're seeing currently from your team, apart from last weekend's result?
No, like what I said the last time we talked. I'm very happy that Arteta came in, and there are just times that he was like a hybrid of Wenger and Pep Guardiola. But during against Aston Villa, he was like the Spanish David Moyes. So
that's a new one.
I don't think he got the tactics right. There's a lot of players that were not playing their natural position. So I don't know. We're right in the middle of the table right now, and the top 4 is looking pretty weird because it's just Liverpool that's up there.
I know it's an unusual top 4 right now, right? There's 2 not Arsenal, sorry, Leicester, and then I think it's Liverpool second, right? And then I think Spurs are in the mix as well, right?
They're second right now.
Spurs are second, are they?
Yeah, but they're not going to win any trophy anyway, so they can stay in second.
Even with Mourinho at the helm, you don't think Spurs will win anything this season?
Well, we had our worst season in like 25 years, and we still won 2 trophies last season. So just say.
I want to see. I'm just going to see if there's any Spurs fans out there, mate. Because at the moment, there's nobody biting, so it doesn't look like there's any Spurs fans out there. All right, cool. So, Mike Owen, from a Liverpool standpoint, mate, you guys are basically decimated in your back 4, right? So over the past 3 or 4 weeks, you've lost your complete first choice back 4. Trent Arnold's out, Van Dijk's out, Gomez is out, and then Robinson's now out because he got injured playing for Scotland, right? So what are your thoughts? How do you think your beloved Liverpool is going to cope, guys?
They'll struggle for sure because defensively this season they've been poor compared to the last couple of seasons where they were all about keeping clean sheets. So I don't know who's going to step back into defense. You've got Henderson picked up an injury as well over the weekend. He probably would have been
Did he?
someone. Yeah,
Oh,
he
no.
a hamstring injury, I think. He went off early in the England game, so he was probably lined up to play centre back. Fabinho is another guy, only coming back from injury. Joel Matip is injury prone. He'd be their next choice centre back after Van Dijk. So, and then you've got the fullbacks. I mean, Milner can play both sides, but with Alexander Arnold out and Robertson, I don't know who's going to cover the other wing. So
has to come in.
Who's coming? Who's that?
The Greek guy that we bought.
Yeah. He hasn't got much game time yet, so an opportunity for him, I guess. But it's going to leave the league wide open because you're probably going to miss a few of those players during the Christmas period as well. So lots of points to be potentially lost, because they will struggle for sure.
Yes, and it's against Leicester, so yeah, it's direct competition really.
Next game,
So-
right? Yeah.
Next game, yeah. So, what do you think? This is going to be Leicester's season again? You think they're going to steal it from the likes of you and City? Surely not.
No,
I
I
don't
don't.
think so. I don't see it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
It'll be tight league. I think it's great for everyone. Last season, it was over in January once Liverpool beat City, and great as Liverpool fans, but as the league as a whole, it got pretty boring. So you probably have 4 or 5 teams that will be thereabouts. Chelsea improving. We thought United would improve, but they look to be going backwards, which we're all happy enough about, I think.
Yeah.
I'm waiting now for United fans to comment, Owen. There's nothing at the moment, mate. So, listen, Jet, I think I've done you a disservice, mate. I know we beat you 3-0, but I keep forgetting that we beat Liverpool 7-2, right? I didn't. So that means I didn't want to bring it up, guys. But I thought I've given Jet a little bit of hassle. It's only fair. So that would make us aggregate of 10-2 against Liverpool and Arsenal this season. Okay, all right. Just throwing it out there.
Remember, we gave you the goalkeeper, our goalkeeper.
You didn't give him. You didn't give him us. You didn't go. Let's just have him. We bought him. You didn't just take him. We bought him. Yeah, I swear. Have you been smoking something before you started today?
I was drinking something.
All right, there you go. So sorry, Mike. You were saying about Liverpool then. How do you think then this season is going to pan out now then?
Well, I'm actually still happy that we won last season. It's been a long time to wait for that to happen. I was walking around here with a Liverpool shirt, in the heat, just being happy about it. But this season, I really don't know. I don't think our defense can cope. The current defense, I think it's going to be really tough. I think it's really an emergency time for us. We really have to go out in January to find someone.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder if he'll. Go on, Jet. Sorry, mate. Kara.
Yeah, I think there's a rumor of you buying the Senegalese defender from playing in Italy. I can't remember his name. Wait, let me look it up. Yeah. It's
okay. Well, that's good.
Koulibaly.
Yeah, Koulibaly. Yeah.
Koulibaly from that. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he'd be great. We really need him urgently. We don't want another 7-2, right? Well,
I'll take it.
Also, I don't like Adrian. Actually, I don't like Adrian. I think he's not good on the ball. I think he gets frightened too easily. He scares the rest of the defense when he has it.
Really, your keeper?
Yeah. I don't like Adrian.
I think
backup keeper, second choice.
Backup. Second choice. Yeah.
Oh,
How
yeah,
about
yeah.
Oxlade Chamberlain? We played him in right back before he transferred to Liverpool. I mean, he can still play in that position.
Yeah, he's injured still, I think.
Oh,
Still recovering as well.
He's also injured. It's a big list.
I think on the quiet, Jet knew that. He just wanted to see if he could get a reaction out of you guys, right? All right, cool. So, guys, I kind of want to move away from the Premier League now, and let's talk about the football situation in the Philippines. So, recently, you guys went through a very condensed Premier League, right? Well, it's not a Premier League; your own internal league over I think it was 6 or 7 weeks. How do you guys think that worked? Was it a useful experiment? Did it prove anything? Any thoughts?
Well, I thought
Yes,
it showed that they could. Go ahead, Jet.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that it was very well organized, I thought, and compared to PFL, when PFL first started, I think it was the newest PFL, they didn't actually broadcast it, so you couldn't actually watch it, and they've actually fixed that this time, which was a good start. They had sponsors. They showed the sponsors that they could organize a league within the bubble. It was all done really well with tests and all that. Yeah, I think it was good. I would say it's good for now. I wouldn't say it's a long-term fix by any means. But it did show that United City are a force to be reckoned with. They're really good. And I'm actually looking forward to them playing in the region.
Mm-hmm. Jet?
Yeah,
Thoughts?
I agree. I'm looking forward for United to play in the region. Plus, it's nice to what the Philippine football scene really needs is more exposure, and by having this, it's like shortens the gap in between games. We really need to expose football more, especially in the mass media. Because it is a very exciting game, and it is something that we are going, us as Filipinos, I think we have far better chances of competing in the world than the favorite sport, the number one sport, which is basketball, because we're not just built for it. Unlike football, we are. I mean, just like look at our neighbors, Korea and Japan, and they've always been in the World Cup, and also defeating European nations. So, yeah, this is something good. Exposure plus the ASCALs being part of as a guest team in the PFL. So our current national team are being exposed to that level of playing, that quality of play. So it is good. I don't see anything negative really. So it's all positive.
Cool, nice one, Jet. What about you, Owen? Were you able to catch any of the local football during the short season?
I watched a lot of the games actually because I have a few mates playing on a couple of the teams, and very well organized. Absolutely, it was great to be able to catch the games. I guess what it does showcase is the gulf between United City and the rest of the league, which is something that somehow needs to be addressed. I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but because the lack of money in the rest of the clubs is a big challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree, mate. Agreed. Investment's key, right? Investment and get it right at grassroots. That's always key. Dondi, I don't know. Are you a football fan? Were you able to watch any of the local football when it came back?
Well, I used to. I really liked the Ascal's chances 3-4 years back when they had all the guys, the young brothers, the young husbands, sorry, young brothers, the young husbands, Yab Chifi and Don. The thing is, Jet's really right. Problem is exposure. Basketball is taking a front seat, and come on, I have to admit we can't compete in the world stage. Too short, too slow compared to the Europeans and the Americans. We have to really, really, really have a good grassroots football program for us to, keep up with our Asian neighbors, because we have the build for it. We have the speed for it. I mean, I've been to Barotac Nuevo in Iloilo. God, the kids are really good. It's just that they're not supported. That's why the football situation in the Philippines is not progressing the way we'd like to be. But training, proper tools, I believe will excel. I mean, I've gone to some the tournaments at the turf and everything in BGC. There is talent here, and I think we can we can excel in what 5 years. I guess I don't know what the timeline is, but maybe in 5-10 years. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. Also, I'm seeing
Mhm.
a similar growth in rugby as well. Rugby here. It's
Oh
starting
yeah,
to
yeah.
slowly but surely take off. Right,
Mhm.
my nephew's just started to take some online rugby classes as well. So yeah, and rugby is one of my passions. Right, I love rugby. So yeah, to see that here, it is great. And Jet, we're getting a couple of call outs for you, my friend. Do you remember Mitch from Sitel?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Mitch has called you out on our Facebook page. He's saying something about Bayern Munich are better than Arsenal any day of the week and twice on a Sunday. I don't know what that means, but apparently you may want to speak to him after, mate.
Yeah, probably.
All right, cool. So let's kind of move away now from kind of the mainstream sports. And Mike, I know you during COVID, I believe you've learned 2 new sports, right? Do you want to share the stories there behind them and the sports that you've learned? And you're on mute again. Well done, Mike.
Sorry.
That's all right. Go for it.
Yeah, I just started trying to do some bouldering, some rock climbing. It's actually a really cool place in Circuit Makati to go and do that. You just go in and book a 3-hour session and go and climb, and you don't need any ropes or anything, so it's really easy. And it's just funny going there because it's kind of like it's kind of a feeling of it's kind of like skateboarding. Everyone's just kind of helping each other. It's nice because after COVID, you haven't met many new people, right? And everyone's really quite friendly, even though you're all in your separate areas and wearing masks. So I did that, and there you can obviously tell who's really good at rock climbing. They're like really built. They look like spiders with muscles, and they just make rock climbing look so easy. Then I tried doing golf, and it's a different way of sizing people up, because you can't really tell in golf. Like the one with the flashiest pants doesn't mean they're really good. The one with the nicest clubs, that doesn't mean that they're the best either. Like I remember looking at there's this one. She must have been in her 20s. This girl, she's winding up, and then she just whacked it like 220 yards, and it was just amazing. But she was like this short, and you kind of ask yourself, where does all that power come from? So it's just funny how different sports don't seem so athletic sometimes, but like it's a different way of measuring someone. So I learned that from my new sports.
I think Paul disappeared.
You can host now,
So
Mike.
who's anchoring now?
Come on, Owen, tell us something. How was your COVID?
No, I was probably going to ask you about the rock climbing. Whereabouts? Because I live in Makati. So what area of Makati is that based?
So it's Circuit. It's by the Blue Pitch.
Ah, I see. Okay.
It's in that building. You go. It's called Beehive. It's a bouldering hive. Go check it out.
Yeah.
It's really good fun.
It's called Beehive. Beehive.
Yeah, it's really great. It's a great workout too.
For sure, yeah.
I went on a Friday night. It was just really good to relax after the week. But it's amazing. You look at it and you're like, that guy made it look so easy. And then you try it and you're like, it's not easy at all.
There's one rock climbing.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Owen.
I just
No,
have.
I
I
was
was
just-
going to say. You go.
No, I was just gonna say. At first, it looks intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it's like your natural instincts, come back. Because as a kid, you're a natural climber. That's what they say. I did rock climbing when I was in college, when I was like 50 pounds lighter. Now I'd probably look like an overweight sloth trying to get through the wall. But yeah, so anyway. Owen, sorry, interrupted.
No, you're fine. That was a good
That was a good story. Thanks.
I was just going to say, I have a mate who did rock climbing, or a few mates who went rock climbing, I think in Quezon City somewhere, but they just went on an afternoon. You have a couple of beers while you're doing it. Now, it's obviously with the ropes, that kind of climbing, but said it's a good afternoon out, so I'm yet to try it.
Yeah, you should definitely do it. I highly recommend it.
Cool. Mike,
Yeah, Paul, you should come along too, mate.
Dude, I'm like Dundee. I am an overweight sloth times 10, to be honest with you, mate. So yeah, I'm good with watching my sport and doing my running. Thanks, mate. Mike, we've got a question from Kim, who's watching us on Facebook. He's asking, are you wearing the jersey of Tibet?
Yeah, I am.
There you go. There you go, Mike. Thanks, Kim.
Shout out to Kim there. If he's it must be Kim Sala, I think, because he's the only man I know on earth with a Tibet jersey. He plays for the Metros with us.
Yeah,
that's the guy. We did actually have a shout out for the Metro. Was it the Manila Metro? Somebody shouted you guys out. Nathan. He shouted all the
nice.
Metro.
Yeah, it's our coach.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. He shouted you guys out. All right, guys. Cool. Owen, do you want to share anything about Gaelic football? Because some people just say that's just an easy way to die. So I don't know. Do you want to kind of share what Gaelic football is with our viewers out there?
Yeah, I can give a brief introduction on what it is. So it's an Irish sport. It's kind of a mix between football as we know it in like soccer and rugby. It wouldn't be as rough as rugby, I'd say. There's stricter rules around the tackle, so you can't say put your arms around them in a tackle. But what you can do is, like in American football, you can kind of shoulder charge. So it's 15 players on each team. The pitch is somewhat bigger than a football pitch. You have 6 defenders, 6 forwards, and 2 midfielders, and they generally stay within their zones. So they do. Similar again to Aussie rules, if anyone is familiar with Aussie rules. So it's just played in Ireland. It's grown a bit in the UK because the Irish diaspora had moved there. Same in Australia.
Isn't it shown on BN Sport, or it used to be, or was it Setanta?
Setanta would have shown it. Yeah, they would have. Yeah. So it's getting some traction in some other countries where there's lots of Irish, I guess. And even here, we have a very small club, more of a social thing. Generally, most of us are the wrong side of 30, and even a lot of them the wrong side of 40. So it's just to kick about and being able to socialise and have a few beers. And we have a couple of locals who play with us as well. So if anyone is down to come on after COVID, if we get training again, everyone's welcome. Training is usually free. We play in British school, in BGC. So it's a lot of fun. You should check it out on YouTube.
Okay.
We'll do. Let's see if we can get some people down next Saturday. Yeah. When you're open again, Owen, let's see if we can get some people down there. Cool.
Is there like rugby rules where if you catch it, you get space to kick it again, or no?
No, not so much. So it's just free roaming play. Unless you're fouled, you get a free kick basically. And you can't run with it like rugby. You can only run for 4 steps, and then you gotta pass it on. Or there's a skill called you toe tap it. So while you're running, you tap the ball on your toe. It's like juggling in soccer.
Okay. And then you can just throw it.
Go on, Mike. Sorry.
You can just throw the ball as a pass, or do you need
No,
to
so it's called a hand pass. So basically, you fist the ball or you hand it with the palm of your hand onto your teammate.
Okay.
And then Mike,
and then you don't have any sort of protection? Oh, sorry.
No, go on, Dundee. You're fine.
No. I was just asking if they had any sort of protection. Nothing, no pads, no nothing?
No pads, no. Some players will wear gum shields. That's about it.
Okay.
So it can get intense, all right, but it's fun to play, especially casually. You know, it's you don't need to do a lot of running when you're playing casually, and just good kick about. So
Okay.
Cool. I had a friend.
and then
Sorry, Paul.
Sorry, one more. I had a friend in Singapore whose good friend played for Mayo.
oh yeah,
But then they lost in the final that night.
Mayo are known for losing finals. Yeah, so I think the last time they won was in the '60s, but he must like Mayo would be one of the elite teams. So the way it works is you play for your local town. So you can't. It's not like soccer where you can transfer to other teams. So you play basically with your friends and family who you grew up with, and from there, then the best players from each town within a region will be selected to play for what's called a county team or like a province. And we've got 32 of those teams who will then compete on a national level. And it's all amateur, so all these guys have day jobs. The women as well, there's women's Gaelic football and hurling. So they'll have their day jobs, but they train like pros. They train 6-7 days a week before or after the office. And it's serious in terms of the level they play at. I think there was some TV show where one of the elite players went over to, it could have been Arsenal, for example, for a week, and he trained with the team, and his fitness levels was matched with the pro Prem players.
Oh,
Wow. My question, Owen, was about the posts. So is there like this rugby post and then there's a goal underneath it or something, right? Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So think of a rugby post, but it's got a net down below the high post. And when you score a goal, that's considered 3 points. And then if you get it between the high sticks above the crossbar, that's 1 point.
Cool. Jet, you look like you're on a model shoot there, mate, with your ring light and everything. You look like you're modelling the latest Arsenal kit. Love it. All right, guys. So listen, we've
look
been
good
on this...
while you're in 11th place.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right there. So look, we've been live now for nearly 40 minutes. I think we can start to wind it down a little bit. What I'd like to do is just kind of go around each of you individually and ask if you've got any last-minute comments before we say goodbye. So I'll do it the way that I see it on my screen, so I'm not, having fave or anything like that. Dondi, before we go, mate, anything you'd like to share with your band of Spider followers out there?
They're probably not listening. These people are not into sports, and they're just, in their dark rooms looking at things with their flash. No, nothing from me. I'm sorry.
Nothing. There's a rumor circling on Facebook right now that you used to play football. Is this true, Dondi?
Yeah, when I was a kid, when I was like 10 or 11, but the most of the Filipino boys at around age 12 or 14 shift to basketball. So that's what I did, and I sucked initially, but I got better. So yeah, I was so bad at basketball in the beginning. They'd only put me in whether we were up by 20 or we were down by 20. And yeah, if there was a nickname for me, it would be Mr. Garbage Time. So yeah. But I got better eventually.
Cool. Thanks, Donny. Donny, appreciate you taking your time out to join us, mate. Thank you so much for today.
No worries.
Jet, any last minute comments? Anything you'd like to share, mate, with our audience out there?
Yeah, support the Philippine football. It's a very exciting game. It's a very exciting. We do have exquisite talent, emerging talent from the grassroots, just like Gayoso. So support the Philippine football. We don't need another basketball league, and I don't have anything against basketball. It's just we already have enough of it. I think we should start supporting our own football teams.
Cool. Thanks, Jet. And next week, please don't wear an Arsenal shirt. Can you wear an Aston Villa shirt, please?
I don't have a Villa shirt, but no.
I'll send one over to you. Cool. Thanks, Jet.
Sure.
Owen, anything you'd like to share, mate?
No, I mean, good conversation. I'd love if you could maybe commit an episode to the Philippine football and kind of dive into that a bit more, because obviously the fact that it was in the spotlight the last number of weeks. I remember myself and a few mates, when they had the PFL a few years ago, we went to Makati University to watch a game. Yeah. And it was only maybe 200 fans there, and it was almost free entry. And it was kind of frustrating because, I mean, for us, we play weekend football. We would just love the opportunity to go watch live football on the weekends and have a couple of beers. And we went down, and it was just, considering how big the football scene is in Manila, with Football Manila, people playing 7 nights a week, it would be great to see those people turn into fans and watch the game and create atmospheres. So I know it would be good for the football scene. Whether you got guests on from the PFL or whatever, just to kind of discuss that and where it can go in the future. And because we all like to see the local scene getting better. It's improved a lot in the last 5-6 years, but it's got a long way to go. Obviously, with clubs folding and issues with clubs not paying players, there's a lot of cleaning up to, but it's moving in the right direction, you would hope. So, yeah, if you have a chance to go in deeper on that, it'd be great.
I think, well, there we go. That's what we'll do next week. Same time next week, we'll do it. And I'll ask Ollie to get some wonderful guests on, obviously, with you guys as well. So there we go. We've already sorted what we're doing next week. Perfect. Mike?
Yeah, just thanks for the chat. It was good fun. Definitely want to talk more about PFL. I was here when we qualified for the Asian Cup. I was in the stadium. And it was one of the best nights I've ever had in Manila. It doesn't matter how big the match is. If your team is winning, it can be the best feeling. So I really think we have a good team, a competitive team nationally. So there's people are missing out if they're not watching it.
Cool. Well,
yeah.
We'll do that. We'll do that next week. We'll see if we can round some guests on to accompany us as well. But yeah, definitely next week. That's what our discussion's about. Ollie, I know you've been kind of in the background managing our social media, mate. Anything you'd like to share before we end?
No, not much. Well done, guys. But yeah, next week I'll be a bit more vocal, and yeah, great shout out for the local football scene. So Owen will probably try and get someone or a few people on board next week, and yeah, have a natter.
Perfect. Cool. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been a great first live stream, and I hope that we can do this again next week. Listeners, audience out there, particularly Kim and Mitch, who have been very active in our social media. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you next week. Thank you.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, guys.